Ahoy, friends. It's me, Dave Landau. After a long night on stage, I like to kick back with a captain's hat and a fine cigar and watch the Dennis and Andy show. These guys are huge nerds, but they're the kind that you actually want to hang out with. Enjoy them. I do.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to New Comic Wednesday, which means it's time for another episode of the Dennis and Andy Show. Only, if you guys saw, it's a without Andy. Andy is on the road. He is like eastbound and down, technically southbound. He's with the Bandit traveling down for a great graduation. So safe travels to Andy. And, we decided that a group of us were going to get together today. We all took a bullet and watched Star Trek Section 31, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to probably talk about the Fantastic Four new teaser trailer that came out, among other great things that we're watching. So without further ado, I will be bringing everybody in. Let's bring... there is Rich. Hey, Rich.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you know what?
Did you lose Joe?
All I saw was a communicator.
He's calling in a strip doctor.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Oh, yeah. There's Joe Bernardo, everybody. Now, normally we'd be bringing on our fourth guest, Mr. Brian Blevins. If you saw from the clip, the only man I know that has a Magic the Gathering card about him. So I am a little jealous on that front.
Wow.
But he texted he is down big time sick. So he was going to try to make it. Chances are he won't. But if he does, we'll pop him in. If not, Brian, get better. And hopefully we can see it, because he and I talked this last week when we got back about a whole bunch of movies. And that's what got this whole gravy train started. So let's just see. Who's in here. Look at Omni. He was first. And Omni was in a while ago. So that is dedication. Randy Howell. Yeah, you are. And he's the first man. I see what you did there. So welcome. Marcus is in. He's probably working.
He's driving.
Yeah, he's driving.
He's always driving.
Late Kick is in. Amish Ninja. Hello, Dennis and guests. Must be at work, hard at work, which means he has time to chat with us today. Arda Roy. Hey, who's Discount Andy Smith? Whoa. Well,
I shaved my head just to look like Andy.
You did.
You got to tell me you don't like the Cowboys.
I used to. I grew up being a Cowboys fan, and then I got tired of them drafting and hiring criminals, so I just started following the Panthers.
So we do have to ask then. So, is there a team that has supplanted the Cowboys?
Yeah. I mean, for a while, I tried to support the Panthers and the Cowboys. I mean, once, we live in Charlotte.
Yep.
Trying to support both. And then after a while, I gave up on that and said, screw it. That, I think this is 20 years ago when they took like Pac-Man Jones and put him on the roster. I was like, I'm done.
Oh, yeah.
Throw my support behind the Panthers and call it a day. And of course, I haven't missed anything apparently. So
that is true.
Come over to the red and gold side. We always like front fans.
Yeah, Mighty Geek Studios is in the house. So, guys, thanks for joining us. Yeah, we skipped the big old giant intro today because there is. Oh no, we just got threatened.
What?
Marcus, you better behave or I'll visit you guys in Hickory. I got a halo. Can you not see it, Marcus? Oh my!
Really,
Oh,
Marcus?
seeing even honest English. There you go. He does have it. So, guys, you know what we're talking about today? Here, I'm gonna pull this up because I am going to show us one of the things that we are going to be chatting about today. There is the cast of Star Trek Section 31, the movie, the original ongoing series that became a mini series that became an hour and a half, or should say an hour and 35-minute movie that was probably about an hour and 15 minutes too long. But it is time to talk about this great masterpiece that all of us Trekkies have been dying for. So we'll just start off. Did you guys watch it? And let's start with you, Rich.
As I told you beforehand backstage, I tried to watch it. You know, I went into it cold because, as I told you, I haven't been following Star Trek stuff. I haven't seen recent television shows. And so I was going into it very cold, and I got about an hour into it, and I gave up. I just said, I've seen enough. I don't care how it ends.
Exactly. You don't care. Joe, you? Wow.
Set it to stun. Set it to stun.
There is an hour and 15 minutes I will never get back in.
Yeah.
And it unfortunately had to do with that. And it was, let's just say, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy, this is the poorest attempt I've ever seen at another franchise trying to do Guardians of the Galaxy.
So this was my take on it, and see if you guys agree. And the reason I really wish Brian was here, he messaged me last week, and he goes, "Did you watch Section 31?" And I said, "Not yet. Basically, I have to bring myself to do it." And he goes, "Oh, you haven't? Wait till you see it. OMG." And I went, "Oh?" In their caps, OMG good, I responded, or OMG bad? Well, I got my answer.
Yeah.
So when it starts off, I will say this. My first thought on Star Trek 31 was they basically said, hey, a bunch of misfits. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. And hey, we're this super secret organization, which actually is cool in the Star Trek universe, but not here. But so we'll call it Grade B Mission Impossible. And we're just going to kind of mash the two together without any humor, thought process. And we're going to say, hey, there's some great characters. This will make a great show. That was what I took out of it. That's what they were going for.
But I think you gave it too high of a grade. I would say grade F.
Yeah, it's bad.
Oh yeah, it. So my first thing, and Rich, you said it earlier. Well, you wanted to watch Star Trek.
Yeah, I mean, I went into it cold, and let me ask you a question because you just made a mention about Section 31. Was that something already established in Star Trek lore through another
Yes.
movie? Okay, see, I didn't know that.
Wasn't it established in Deep Space Nine?
So okay, so there's Star Trek timeline and then our timeline of watching it. Deep Space Nine established it because Dr. Bashir wound up being recruited as part of it.
Yes.
And but from Star Trek history, it actually goes all the way back to Enterprise because they wound up recruiting Trip in order to do it because they needed I think it was his warp core expertise.
That's right.
Things like that. And they wound up getting it in. And I know with like Dr. Bashir, it was, the whole point of it was they're like, he goes, you are doing things that are wrong, that are bad. He goes, we have to bend the rules for the safety of the Federation. We bend the rules and do things so that you don't have to. You get to keep your moral compass and your moral integrity with it.
Well, see, that's interesting because, I mean, for those of you who haven't seen it and for those of you who have, there's the graphic on the screen, the girl on the far right is supposed to be Starfleet. So if
Yeah.
it's a group that's supposed to be bending the rules and she's knowingly involved in it, throughout the movie she keeps talking about how they gotta, kind of stick to by the book, it seems like. And she's like, I'm Starfleet, I can't do this, or okay, well, why are you involved in this group who is there to, be a black ops, bend the rules kind of outfit?
Right.
And I would assume it'd be like sort of the best of the best you'd want to recruit. Half of them are buffoons.
Yeah. Well,
I
here's
was
what.
going to say, Joe, why don't we just kick it off? Let's start talking characters from left to right to make it easy
Got it.
for everybody.
Okay, he talked about the girl on the very far right. On my right.
Yeah, Rachel Garrett, by the way, for those of you that are not Trek fans, she is established from the Next Generation because she is the captain of the Enterprise C, the ambassador class that winds up coming through the time portal, and they have to send her back with Tasha Yar in order to give them a chance. The captain from that episode was phenomenal. She is Starfleet. She represents everything you want. This was a person with the same name because it had none of the qualities of that. So again, that's supposed to be Rachel Garrett.
Yeah, I when I heard that, I was like, okay, that was a member berry that they tried to throw in. But her character had nothing of like, I feel like they're trying to reach to make her a Kirk type character, but she just failed miserably.
Yes. So one of the things that they did as a member berry, I'll start off, one of the first characters we get introduced to, and you saw him, he was the waiter with Philippa Giorgio. And you can see he's got the face that's half black and half white. And he's supposed to be this funny, cliche little guy, but he's has to be from the planet Sharon. And that's from the original series.
Frank Gorshin, right?
Correct. That is it. It was Frank Gorshin, and I can't remember the other actor's name, but it was like the commissioner and the other guy, and they were the last two surviving members. And when they went down, of their entire race, they were there to annihilate each other, and they did. That entire race of people are gone.
Okay, that's what
What did these writers do? Oh, hey, that would be a cool member berry. Let's put in one of those. No history.
That's what I was saying is like, how can that character exist when the entire race except the two people were annihilated by each other?
Yep.
It just was. And then the thing that got me too is her character's supposed to come off as like, oh, I'm the person who's going to keep this group together and Starfleet, regulations and everything, and they just totally ignored her. I don't like it. They kind of like ruined the character of Rachel Garrett.
Yep.
Because she wasn't like a Kirk type character who would have been like, you expected more action from her if she was going to be that type of character. But all I got is that she was literally like the buffoon Starfleet person that they all totally ignored.
Yeah, it's like Starfleet said, you're worthless. Here, you go over there and do this. It was just terrible. Amish Ninja, didn't we try to do a special operations team? Yeah. So I have role played Star Trek and Starfleet battles, and we, the role playing in Star Trek that they've done, there were some good and bad, but yes, we did try and do our version of like, before it was called Section 31, it was like Section 31. It was behind the scenes. So that is funny, but yeah, they ruined it. So the character on the left, I actually I can't remember his name right now. Alak Shahar, and he wound up being, I swear he's supposed to be like Buck Rogers, and he survived and was in animation, and suddenly here.
When you said that, I didn't even get that until all of a sudden I thought about it. You're right.
And I was like, but okay, so you're that old. But did I miss it? They didn't really give any reason why. Did they not? They didn't give a backstory to it, did they?
No backstory, but
And this would have been while Rich was still watching.
Well, he had
Was-
some long exposition about having come from the 20th century and was talking about, God, what
He's
the hell they
basically
call it?
Con Buck Rogers.
Yeah, something like that. But you said something about being modified. I don't know if it was like bionic stuff or somebody on Earth was fighting somebody else and they captured him and modified him, and then now he's 300 years in the future.
Yeah.
They threw in one of Khan's lower subordinates who made him basically one of them.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
it was
because we always have to tie Kang, Noonien, and Soon into everything in Star Trek.
yeah. And so basically, like Dennis said, he was Buck Rogers Khan.
Yeah.
And he wanted to fight against the way that they were conquerors and everything, which they tried to use that. It was a poor execution of Buck Rogers.
Yep. Second character is Zeph, and dude's got some kind of exoskeleton suit that he's in, which I do not remember seeing in anything of Star Trek before.
I
Am
just
I
thought he was
wrong?
like, is he like Discount Borg?
They didn't mention Borg. They
Yeah, they
didn't
don't
show
discuss.
anything Borg. It was just exoskeleton.
Did you recognize him where he's from?
No. What's he from?
Do you remember the first Pacific Rim?
Oh yeah. Oh.
The guy who was the really doofus son of the real cool commander?
Gotcha.
That's him.
So he's
Okay.
playing the same character, basically.
Yeah, it's just a different doofus.
Yeah, different idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now-
they just
Yeah.
all here's one thing I have to say before we go into one of the
Yeah.
all the characters. They're all forgettable.
Yes. Yes. Every single one of them. I mean, there's a Rich. We'll have forgotten as much as Rich watching. He didn't even finish it.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you any of their names.
Yeah. Sam Richardson, he plays Quasi, and he's a chameleon guy dealing with camel. And I was like, okay, but then if you're going to tell us what you can or can't do, let's see what you can do. Let's really have it being a cool part. And again, it was like, oh, okay.
Another Riverberry from, guess what? Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country. He's a cameloid, just like what Kirk ran into on the Penal Planet.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yep, exactly. And
So
then
he was a shapeshifter, right? So I mean, I put around an hour into it. He changed shape one time that I remember.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like it was almost, unless it came into really a big prominent role later in the plot.
It had to be a budget issue. The only thing I can think of.
It's a budget issue. Come
Yeah.
on. I mean, just that's the other thing. Is it me or did the show look like they were reusing sets again?
Or they have to be reusing sets. They can't afford not to at this point because they can't be getting a budget.
It looks like they went to Picard season 3 and the one planet where they were all at who were all illegal, the Metalis system.
Yeah.
And they just reused a bunch of those sets.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was terrible. Next on deck, we've got the Delton. So they've only Star Trek the motion picture. We saw Ilia, and it's been set in canon that Deltons. So what do they have her do? They don't do anything really cool with her. She's sitting there blowing bubble gum in the shape of a heart. And then she gets disintegrated.
That was the best part of her character.
It's in. Yes.
Spoiler alert for those of you who want to watch this.
You won't.
Yeah. her character, the best part of it is when she gets just vaporized.
Yep. And it looked like from Star Trek, the Next Generation, that Veron T, whatever, that's what it reminded me of. I can't remember the character's name. He was from Warehouse 13. But, he had that really cool weapon that just killed, and it's painfully agonizing. And I'm like, oh, that's what that looks like, Member Berry. Of course, it would have to be. But then when she died, she should have been screaming because it's so agonizing. But, that requires acting.
Okay,
So I will say the Vulcan was the dumbest, least interesting character out of all of it. Fuzz. And that means, Rich, you didn't get to see all the inner workings of Fuzz. When you start out, this Vulcan is sitting in this bar and laughing his ass off.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, that doesn't raise red flags to anybody who knows anything, which would be everybody in the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
Dude, it's terrible.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it made no sense. And
do you, by the way, do you recognize the actor?
No.
Okay. Have you guys seen Jeepers Creepers?
yeah,
Wow.
He's Derry from the first Jeepers Creepers.
that's not Justin Long, is it?
Yes, it is.
That's Justin Long.
No.
Look it up.
I am. I'm going to look it
I
up.
thought he resembled him, but I thought he was way too young to be Justin Long. I like Justin Long. He's a good actor.
I do too. Galaxy Quest. No, it's Sven Rygrok.
Really?
Yes.
What that was him. When he was
misinformation. You're banned.
Well, it looked like him because when he was doing the laughing scene, this like incredible laughing scene, like and he's doing his thing, and I'm like, is that Justin Long?
Yeah, no, that's my Galaxy Quest boy. He's also from Barbarian.
Okay, well,
yeah, but no, this guy is. Let me just look him up. Sven Rygrok.
Okay.
That sounds like his alien name.
Because Justin Long will get a pass from me because I thought that was him, and I was like, oh, this is unforgivable for him.
Yeah, he's been in like one episode of this, one episode of that. So, yep, low budget. That's what it is.
So
that was another thing. Just it's just shoehorned in there. Like, well, if we throw a Vulcan in there with a guy with pointy ears, it'll be Star Trek.
Well, the big twist with him is that it was like, oh, there's really a little miniaturized creature that controls everything, and he can put them on autopilot because the Vulcan's actually a mechanical creation like Data. Only it can be controlled by this ship, or he can go in through people's nostrils and get in there.
Well, if the whole body, that's my question. Is it a real Vulcan who's being controlled by the alien?
No.
Okay, so it's a construct.
It's a construct.
Okay, then why make it a Vulcan? If you need to express emotions and go undercover and be an operative, why would you choose a Vulcan as your shell who's not supposed to show any emotions?
Because member berries, how else are you going to recognize Star Trek? Which really brings us to the point. If you look at all of these characters and you think of Star Trek, don't think of any of them. There is nothing Star Trek about this entire show. The characters are two-dimensional, and when they die, you don't care. If they disappear, are they going to finish the mission? I don't care.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell you what I felt about the whole amount of characters. They're literally all a bunch of amalgams of all the characters. The one guy who's with the mechanical thing, he's in black armor, so he's a discount Borg. The one guy, he has to be part of the Khan area, so he's that kind of like Khan, but like you said, I never even thought of it until you said it. He's Buck Rogers. The one girl they gave you, she's Rachel Garrett, and then they try to make her like she's a young Kirk and she's bending the rules, but she's totally forgettable. The guy's a Vulcan, but he's a mixture of a nanite and Data and a Vulcan. But he's Data out of control, laughing and everything else.
Yep.
The one girl, she's a Deltan. Oh, so let's throw that in, and she's also almost like a counselor, so she's almost Diana Troy with a Deltan, and it's just like all the characters are forgettable.
Yes. And Kino nails it. Member berries and lack of respect for the source material.
Yep.
That's because I'm telling you, there is no way the writers know the source material. They watched a few episodes, they saw something, they were giving a stack of pages and said, well, here, quick, look through this to see if you have there's a Sharon. Okay, we'll use one of those guys. Oh, we have to have a Vulcan. Everybody knows Vulcan. Yeah, they do not understand complexities. So the thing that made, to me, Star Trek so awesome is the original series started it. It was always about moral conundrums. That's what they would debate. Something happens, and Captain Kirk would be sitting there, or Captain Picard would be sitting there. Do we do this or that? Because there's moral implications no matter what it is. In so many of the episodes, the writers of current Star Trek do not understand current Star Trek at all. They do not know how to write moral conundrums, because when they start out, Filippo Giorgio and Michelle Yeoh is one of my favorite actresses in almost everything she does. I love her. It's the only reason I gave this a shot at all. But when she got on there and they've got her dressed up at this awful looking, not Star Trek looking configuration, her hair, and then she pokes through, instead of eating an olive, she's got an eyeball, and I'm like, that's not cool. That's just gross. And again, not Star Trek. You're trying to show,
right? They had to make her feel so that she's from the Mirrorverse, and they're so much violent and everything else that she has to eat an eyeball to make her that so tough.
Yes. Yeah. Amish Ninja. The only thing Star Trek is the name. It's true. They had to show her as being this tough. So eyeballs. Well, you have shown, we already know, if you know her from Discovery, which I unfortunately do, and she was the only potentially saving grace about that entire series. It was just garbage. And when she comes up out of there, she's got the...
Wait. She's from Discovery? That's right. Is that in the same timeline?
Well, Discovery's now been pulled out of canon. You know me, us nerds. She was the captain of, because there's two versions of her. Yeah, baby. There is the Shinzo. This is the ship. Because remember, Captain Giorgio Filippo, she was awesome. Her character was cool. And when Discovery started, because this is what got Michael Burnham involved, she was the captain of this ship. And she's cool. She winds up going in the series, and the Mirror Universe version of her is what comes over, which is what this is. And we find out in this one that she led the Terran Empire because she was able to kill off her whole family, because it was a race. It felt like a reality game show. Which one of you can first kill off everybody you like?
Well, that ripped off the Hunger Games. It was, 12 people pulled from across the empire to fight or survive, and then a man and a woman make an alliance to survive at the end.
Good. I never thought of that.
I never thought that either.
They stole everything from every other movie and cobbled it together and slapped a label on it.
Yes.
It's a shitty way to pick your ruler of your empire by random luck and chance of games or a competition. It's like,
okay, now here's the thing.
Win the fear factor, you get to be president.
You know what's sad about all of this? They greenlit this, but have not greenlit Star Trek Legacy after Picard season 3.
Yes. See, Randy, Squid Game Star Trek crossover.
That's what they wrote.
You know, how can you write a sci-fi military space exploration show without the respect of command, let alone etiquette? Exactly. The issue that I have with her character is she's evil. We know she's evil, and somehow she is the epitome of all that is bad. It is somebody that should be on the most wanted list and should be hung for any crime, and yet there's going to be a redemption arc, and we really feel sorry for her. There is no coming back from this. Again, they have no moral compass writing this. They do not know right from wrong. All they know are shades of gray, and most of the gray is dark. So when they bring her on, how do you make a character like that sympathetic? The answer is you can't.
You can't. They even said she killed, I mean, their words, quadrillions of people. That's like Hitler on steroids. I mean, nobody's giving Adolf a pass.
No.
You know?
Right?
No matter how much he volunteers down at the shelter, he's not getting a pass.
They try to make her character so much more violent and even evil than Khan. And
yeah,
I mean, they have to start off her eating an eyeball, which was like, okay. So
killing her family, then eating an eyeball.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just bad Star Trek. It's not even, I don't even call it Star Trek. It's just bad. And like I said,
yeah, literally, I was very, very sad watching this, and I am not joking at all. I was just like, it just can't be this bad, but there it is. It is.
Okay, so let's go on to something cool.
Well, I was going to say, let's rate it. So, Rich, you don't even have to be rating it and finish it, because I just pulled up IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes just so we could talk about it, because, you know, maybe we're being too hard on it. Maybe we're like Ward on the Cleaver, just too hard. I don't know. Let's find out. Joe, you start us rate, and we'll just go to Rich, and then I'll go last.
Can you go to -1?
No, it is 0.5 CGC rating to a 10.0 masterpiece.
0.5 then.
All right. Nice. Rich?
I'll actually be more sympathetic to it because I grew up a Star Trek fan, but I'm not engrossed in any of the more recent stuff and the total lore of it. Like Joe is clearly well schooled in all of the lore and can pick out, you know, this is an inconsistency, that's an inconsistency. I'll forgive some of that because I just don't know it. But it's still, I didn't want to finish it. It was that bad, and I will never rewatch it. So I mean, I give it
well, to be fair to Joe, he is also a construct with a creature inside of him, so he remembers everything for a reason.
I'll give it a solid 2, maybe a 1.5.
Oh, nice. I am there. I'm giving it a 1.5. This is probably one of the lowest that I've given anything ever in all of our movie, TV show reviews. And guys, when I say I'm sad about it, I had really low expectations going into this. Michelle Yeoh really, for me, was the only reason I even wanted to watch it, because I just knew they couldn't write good. I just didn't think it would be bad. But you know what? Let me show you here. I popped these up.
You cannot give it a 1.5 just because you like Michelle Yeoh.
I can, and I did. So suck it. Now, IMDb always tends to be middle of the road. You know what I'm saying? It's got a 3.8.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty bad. I mean, the general public's usually pretty forgiving.
Yes.
Those must be Discovery fans.
And then let me do Rotten Tomatoes here. Check that out. So it is not the critics. The critics that are paid to shill for Paramount, CBS, and all of these wonderful people are giving it an 18%. The popcorn meter, the fans are at a 16%. Guys, we are damn near in Madam Web territory here.
Madam Web was better. And that's
You know,
Honestly,
Rich,
honestly,
you're right.
okay. Tell me one reason Madam Web was better.
Sydney Sweeney.
There you go.
that's two reasons.
2 words.
Ah,
So just Sweeney. Yeah, guys. Yeah, I don't even know what to tell you at this point. I'm going to see. I'm going to try and do it. One thing.
They have to greenlight something good to make up for this. I mean, really, they better tell Terry Metalis, here's a shitload of money, and go make Star Trek Legacy, and give us good Star Trek, because the rest of this is crap.
Well,
Yes.
let me ask you two guys, because I'm sure you would know. Where does Paramount stand on the whole J.J. Abrams universe of Star Trek? That version, is that series now dead as far as movies? Any further movies coming?
I've heard that they're going to do a 4th one, but can they get that cast together again? I mean, they're spread out doing so much different stuff. They want to. I know Chris Pine wants to do it, but they're not sure if they want to do a rated R version, which a rated R version of Star Trek. I don't know. I mean, it could be really bad. So hopefully they just leave it as is, and let J.J. Abrams go do more bad Star Wars.
Look at that. Rich speaks truth. Duck even says truth. Look at that. Yes, look at that. From an Academy Award to Section 31, what a downfall. Hey, she got paid. Don't get me wrong. That has to be the only reason. And don't. Michelle Yeoh is a very well-versed actress. She can do a lot. Started out in, I think it was ballet. She can do so many things. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragons, my favorite movie with her. So many good things. But she can't do everything, because you still have to be given something to work with. She was given nothing, you can tell. 2-dimensional crap characters. So, guys, enough sadness. Let us talk about, and everybody out there, and we can't play the trailer. So if you're one of the 3 people that haven't seen the trailer yet, quick, go watch it. But you guys had tried asking me off the screen what I thought of the trailer. This is the perfect time. So, Joe, why don't you kick us off on this one?
Okay. So when that came on, there's been so much bad Marvel that I was like, oh, no, not another thing. Then I watched it. And at first, when I saw Herbie, I was like, oh, oh, no. And then it just kept going. And I was like, oh my gosh, the stylization of this movie, the trailer gives you this, like, you get this really cool 60s hopeful going to the moon feeling. And then Ben Grimm just looks so much like the Thing. We'll talk about the other elephant in the room after I finish this, but he looks like the Thing. Vanessa Kirby, she's not the most beautiful Sue Storm, but she nailed it. I'm not sure yet with Pedro Pascal. That shot where Johnny flies into space is just like, I was like, oh my gosh, that is just amazing looking. Then I get to the part where I went, holy crap. When I see the shadow of Galactus, and Galactus shows up and you see the back of his head, it was like, oh my gosh, it's Galactus. We finally get Galactus on screen. And then just the way the whole trailer looked, it was like, I'm excited for a Marvel movie again. I literally text everybody, posted it, said, gotta watch this. My son calls me up and instantly says, Dad, that looks amazing. He loves the cinematography of it. And I'm excited. I'm really excited because I think it's going to be good. where you got crap like Falcon Cap movie coming up, and Anthony Mackie and his BS.
Yeah, we got tickets. Andy and I are seeing it on the
You can take the
13th.
bullet for me, buddy.
I am. I think we're the only ones that I know out of just about everybody that is going to go see it. So we will take the bullet because, I told them we have to review even bad movies. And this one I even said, nope, hard pass. And he reminded me, those were your words. And I'm like, they were. But
Well, you're gonna have to take that ball from me but I am excited because it's 1 week after Superman, which I'm hopeful for and excited for. And I saw this and I'm just like, yeah. Now I'm gonna let you guys say it, and then let's talk about the one elephant in the room that it seems like everybody's talking.
all right, your turn, Rich.
I watched the trailer. I think it was yesterday. I like as Joe mentioned, the design of it. I like the fact that it does appear to be set 5 decades ago, 6 decades ago, and so I'm curious about how they will eventually tie it into the rest of the MCU. But I'm looking forward to a movie that's not tied to the rest of the MCU. I'm sick of every character having to have Stark technology in their costume, and vibranium being this miraculous magic material that can do anything in the world, and it's a crutch for the plot devices. It's like, oh, well, how'd you fix that? I use vibranium. How'd you build that? I used vibranium.
Yep.
So I like the way it looks. Yeah, when I saw Herbie, I was a little confused and worried too. But it's all in what you do with it. If you go mimicking the old cartoon, sure, it would probably suck, but that doesn't mean they're going to go that direction. And I'm in the same boat with Pascal. I don't get the appeal of the guy. The only thing I've seen him in that I remember thinking, okay, that was pretty good, was the movie he made with Nick Cage.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. Yeah.
That movie was good, but it wasn't good because of him. Nick Cage had a really good performance in it.
Yes.
And he was passable. He did his job. He was an actor and he pulled it off.
The Last of Us, if you haven't seen it, is really good too.
What's that?
The series on Max called The Last of Us. It's
I
really
watched
good.
the first episode and couldn't get any further into it.
You have to
He just,
get past
it's just, some people, you like or you don't like, and he just doesn't do anything for me. I wish they had cast the dude that they cast as the Thing, made him Mr. Fantastic. I think had he grown his hair out a little bit, he could have easily played that role, and he's a good actor. I've seen him in stuff that I was like, oh, I like that guy as an actor.
I still would have been there with John Krasinski and what's his wife's name? Emily Blunt.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That would have been, to me, the perfect Mr. and Mrs. Fantastic. So
yeah.
I watched it, and I'm very mixed on it. The highlights. I agree with both of you on this. I love the aesthetic. The 60s, it was the optimistic 60s mixed with George Jetson, the Jetsons. That's what I took away. I liked it. And I liked Herbie because, it's old technology, and having like the old $6 million man reel to reels back from that, that was the technology. That's what they would have put in there. I could see that. And I went, you know what? I like that. That's a good aesthetic start. Herbie, I'm not sold on her. Well, I like the aesthetics. Okay, that's good. Now we'll get into the characters. To the left, the Thing, I think he looks great. I know some people don't like him. I have no problems with the way he looked in this trailer. And I was all down with Ben Grimm until he spoke, and I went, what? What? No, that's not Ben Grimm's voice.
I don't think they altered his voice at all to make it, excuse the pun, gravelly. You'd think it'd have a rough edge to it or something. He sounds just like the actor.
See, I always say that the thing with literally the thing with the Thing is his name gives you his character, Ben Grimm. He should have like a gruff, grim voice. And that was the thing about the only thing I didn't like about the trailer is that his voice doesn't match. I mean, the guy who played the Thing in the movies with Jessica Alba and um, Chris
Oh,
Evans,
Chickless.
Michael
yeah,
Chiklis.
he had that voice. So it was the only thing I thought about him because his voice didn't match what you look at the character and you expect something deeper and like rougher.
Right.
Yeah. Marcus said, I heard Pascal was the only actor they could get. True. They called me and I turned it down. Amish Ninja said the Thing doesn't wear a costume. Now, I would agree. I think there were times that they did. He wore it once in a while. I don't mind it in this because in the 60s, it's that look. They've got the 60s
Yeah.
vibe for their costumes. I'm okay because something tells me it either probably gets lost halfway through the movie or this is the only movie we will see it in. He probably won't. But for this, I actually I don't mind.
And
Um,
Jack actually in the beginning, Jack actually had him in a costume with a mask. So
yeah, this is so thing I like Kirby. I don't think Sue Storm is supposed to be like the beauty of the Marvel universe. They call it the first lady for a reason, and she is. I'm not saying that Kirby isn't pretty or anything, but she just doesn't have that gotcha oomph feeling that's just going to draw you in, like Sydney Sweeney would. I'm just saying there are something to it. Pedro, I do like him as an actor. I do in a lot of things he does. As Mr. Fantastic, I can't get past of the mustache because Reed Richards has either got full beard because he doesn't care, or he just shaves his whole face because he doesn't care. He doesn't worry about growing a stash and trimming it. I don't get that. And Johnny Storm, okay, well, we saw him flame on, but there was nothing else. I need to hear something. He could look the part, but we got nothing from the trailer on him, which was disappointing.
I will tell you though, the flame aesthetics that they showed on him looks so much better. I compared it to the Chris Evans from Deadpool, and his flames look so like I said, the cinematography on this is just out of this world, but the flames that came on him look fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Pedro because I think he's a good actor. I'm gonna give him a pass until I see the movie or see more because
Yep.
he could be really good.
The Galactus part was exciting when you see the shadow and it's just overlooming the city. I'm like, oh, if it turns into a mist again, I'm throwing something through my TV when I didn't want to break another TV. So I didn't. However, when they actually got to see the helmet then overlooking the Statue of Liberty, I'm like, oh, goosebumps, absolute goosebumps for me on that part. But we didn't see the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I was just going. Somebody in the chat asked, or said that they didn't show Mr. Fantastic stretching, which I don't think they did, and they didn't show the Silver Surfer. And I'm wondering if Mr. Fantastic will only be like a super smart guy, and they're scared that the stretching is goofy or something. They're not even going to do it.
I think they're holding off to show that because everybody has seen, Straczynski do it. They've seen the other guy do it, and so I think they're gonna because, like I said, when I saw the flames and I thought how good it looked, I think they're gonna surprise everybody. Like this is how good this is gonna look. Galactus looked really good, but thank goodness they didn't have Sheath Surfer in it because that would ruin the first trailer. Uh, I know that they're trying to say that it's an alternate universe and that she's probably Shabala, and
Yes.
that they're going to get to the real Surfer when they get to the MCU. But I just that would have ruined it. And now the thing that I've heard that people complain about is two things besides Thing's voice. Saying the Thing isn't tall enough. Well, I actually saw that John Byrne, when he did his run, the thing is as tall as he is in the picture, where you see them all four together. That's how tall he is. So they're dead on the size because he's more like a power lifter. He's wide and he's thick and he's powerful. So they said that, and then they said Galactus wasn't big enough, and I'm like, wait a second.
He looks pretty damn big.
He's pretty damn big. He's overlooking the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it looks small.
And yeah, I'm like, what are they saying that he's not big enough? I'm like, he's enormous, and I'm kind of glad because he's about the size of the Celestials. And I thought, like I said, I thought they did a fantastic job on almost everything. I'm willing to give everything a pass. I'm excited about it. It's the first time in like 4 years, 5 years that I'm excited about a Marvel project.
Yeah. Marcus says, why are we complaining about a naked chick as the Silver Surfer? So, for those of you that don't know, that is Julia Garner, and she is going to be our Silver Surfer. Now, hashtag not my Silver Surfer, but I am a huge Silver Surfer fan. Norrin Rad. I'm still missing a couple of issues from the first run to finish off my collection. But one day I will get there. I will just say I love her as an actress.
She's
For those who haven't seen the Ozark, she, in her interaction with Jason Bateman, made that show. She is fantastic. She wasn't bad for what she was just given in Wolfman. We just saw her in that. And she is a great actress. So I am not putting shade on it for her, but
she's great. She was in, Apartment 7A, the Rosemary's Baby prequel.
Yes.
She was really good in that. The movie was blah, but she was really good in it.
Yes, I agree. She is great. Here's the issue that I have. Why would you? What's that?
I said it's funny because what you guys were saying is a lot of those movies I've seen, but I don't remember her though. That's the weird thing.
Really? I mean, she's distinctive. I mean, she's to me, I think she's probably one of the best younger actresses working. I mean, if she's in something, I'll probably watch it just because she's in it.
Yes, I agree. And she doesn't have. It's not like the Sydney Sweeney sex appeal, but she has that charisma, that chutzpah about her that I just want to see what she does with different accents, different roles. I think she can do just about anything. The issue that I have with as Silver Surfer, there's alternate timelines and there's all blah blah blah, but you are resetting this Fantastic Four back in the 60s, assuming this is some kind of a prequel, or you're bringing her forward. When did Silver Surfer hook up with the Fantastic Four in Galactus? I think it's Fantastic Four like 48. And I'm sure Marcus is driving and saying, yeah, that's right, or no, it's wrong, and he'll be texting. But I think it's Fantastic Four 48, which would have been Norrin Rad. So the first appearance of Silver Surfer in the comics, in the Fantastic Four, this is the era that we should be getting hooked up with Norrin Rad and not a different Silver Surfer. So my question is, they hit so many things potentially right, but then to do that makes no sense at all.
Well, like I said, there's been so many bad Marvel movies. I'm definitely excited, and I'm willing to give it a pass because I know that they're going to bring it into the new. They're going to bring it into the MCU. So we'll see where it goes. I mean, listen, we gained gigantic Galactus as opposed to Cloud Galactus, and we're getting a cosmic being that seems imposing as opposed to the Eternals. So I'm excited. I'm hopeful because it's been a while since I've been hopeful about a Marvel movie.
Yeah, I will give it a shot. All right. Marcus, for starters, says, that's right. Fantastic Four 48. Thank you, Marcus. Don't get in an accident. And I got a super chat. Paul Taylor, of course, he's awesome. Here's hoping for once that they make a decent Fantastic Four movie. The rest have been junk. Though Chris Evans and Jessica Alba and Michael Chiklis were okay. It's the scripts that are different. So is the difference. So we will see. You know, I'm kind of there with you, but I'm going to throw in one. I liked that series. I thought it was campy, but it was cute. I'll leave it at that. But the Roger Corman original Fantastic Four, I remember at an old convention having to get a bootleg version on VHS. I spent $20 on it just to get it. It was utterly fantastic.
That's one of the best things on screen.
Right? And Dr. Doom at the end of that movie, there's no special effects. He's got a Luger. That was it. And I still love that version of the Fantastic Four, which is the saddest thing to say to me.
Okay, now did you hear the thing that they've been talking about? Dr. Doom may make an appearance at the end of this. And the cool thing is Dr. Doom is not only going to have like armor powers, he's going to have magic. Because that's why they said that Doctor Strange is going to know about him, because he's going to have magic and like armor powers. So I'm
Yes.
excited about that too.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that's in the comics too. I mean, what his mother was a sorceress or whatever.
Yeah, you got that.
Yeah,
The Roger Corman version was just so they could keep that is correct, just so they could keep the rights. It was low budget for that reason. It was never supposed to have been released, and yet it holds a place in our heart for those of us that have seen it. And I do know not everybody has seen it.
Well, like I said, the practical effects thing, costume in that movie looked better than the Michael Chiklis version and that crappy one that came out 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh, you
Yep.
mean when in the Michael Chiklis version, when Doctor Doom in the second movie had rubber gloves and you could tell they were rubber, and he grabbed the board and you could see the part where there was supposed to be a joint and it just like bends like rubber. I was like, oh, that's so bad. Yeah, you're right. The armor that Doctor Doom had in the Corman version was excellent.
Yeah, see, we were talking about this when they first announced that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom is lame. Should have gotten Viggo. See, Viggo Mortensen, that's a good one. Mads Mikkelsen is fantastic also. But Viggo Mortensen, as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh, that would have been a great fit. Again, like Robert Downey Jr., but unnecessary. I mean, they did it just because they've screwed up everything else. They're looking for any reason to get Marvel fans to come back. That and Brie Larson apparently learned how to shut her mouth this week and wouldn't get baited into ripping apart fans anymore. So, hey, we're moving in the right direction, guys.
Do you know who I think could have played Dr. Doom? He's a little young, but I think he would have been really good. Is Ben Barnes, who played Prince Caspian. And if you ever see the series on Netflix, Shadow and Bone, he's really good.
Okay, haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's it. If you haven't caught that one, catch that one. That's really good.
Alexander Skarsgård. He's tall. He's really big.
He's a tall drink of water.
Yeah, he's tall.
Haven't seen Viggo since Lord of the Rings. Hidalgo is about the only thing I can think of.
That was before Lord of the Rings, I think.
Oh, was that before?
I think so.
No,
That's an old movie.
That was after. You know why he did that movie?
He likes horses.
The horses that he got from Lord of the Rings, he wanted to do a movie on the horses, and he did Hidalgo because of that movie, because of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh. Okay, good to know. Randy, 150 days to the Fantastic Four premiere. Lots of time for new trailers. That is true. Not only that, there was lots of time for them to go in and give Ben Grimm a real voice. So,
Yes.
you know, if they're smart, they are going to listen to the fans this time and actually go back and make some changes that are beneficial to the final product. I don't think we're going to get our Silver Surfer, but we'll see what else that we get.
Well, I think Feige's learned from the last couple that he has to listen to fans, because that's what they did in the first 10 years of the MCU. They knew what the fans wanted, and then they went on to their whole DEI kick, which ruined it all. But I think they're going to do well, because when you go through and you see a movie like Spider-Man: No Way Home, you see Deadpool, and then you compare that to Eternals.
Oh yeah,
it just you see where they're off, and one, the fans want, and then two, the fans didn't want, and it does horribly. I mean, you can't go through, if you want to make money, and not listen to your audience.
That's right. And Randy's got the burger. Can we CGI out Pedro's porn stash? Right? That is so awesome. And Irish Ninja agenda casting. Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Paul just said it. Like Cavill's for the Justice League. That looked terrible because they took out his mustache. And yeah.
Well, guys, I got to go.
What?
Yeah, I gotta go.
Yep. All right. Good
right,
seeing you, Joe. We'll kick off the rest of the stuff here. Take care. It was good talking to you, and we'll chat with you later this week, I'm sure.
Yep. Catch you later, bro.
Well, I was just going to say, so we'll just say
Hunger Games again.
What's that?
It's just like the Hunger Games again. Now it's just me and you.
Yep.
Let's eat the berries. Eat the berries.
That's right. Or the poisonous mushrooms. That's all good. That's all good. No, Joe is awesome. He's at work, so I know he was hard at work.
I can tell.
So for him to join, I am good with that. We were talking. We'll just wrap it up with a few things that we started watching. Joe, since I didn't get to mention it to him on stream, actually, Rich and I, Night Agent, neither one of us saw the first season, and we were both told to watch it. So I started watching it, and Rich is now, I guess.
Yep.
So we've got.
Yeah, just like 3 days ago, we started watching it with the first season. I guess the second season just premiered, but we had never seen the first part.
Yep.
I mean, so far, I like it.
Yep. Season 2 came out. That's why it's now a rush to watch.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's a little, like I said, I think there's 10 episodes in this first season, and I assume for the second one too. But I mean, we're halfway through, me and the wife. It seems a little decompressed. Like it could have been 8 episodes. I mean, I don't know what's left, to cover story wise, but I mean, I like it. I mean, I've seen worse by far.
It's been solid. I would say that Marcus apparently already watched both seasons. So good for you, Marcus. He liked it. It was solid.
He watched me.
Yeah. We just watched the review will be dropping tomorrow. My family and Andy's family, we just watched Wolves with George Clooney and Brad Pitt. And so we did that. That was on Apple TV because we knew we weren't going to have time to run out to the theater. So that'll be dropping tomorrow for you guys to do. Severance, the new season of Severance has started. Wow. That's some deep stuff.
Now, what is Severance on? Is that on Max or is that an Apple thing again?
That might be. I don't remember which one. I
think it's a Max show, isn't it? It's an HBO show.
Yeah, it's one of them. Here, let me just look it up. So that's the problem. Is so many different streaming things. Yeah, it's Apple TV.
Okay. Yeah. See,
I can't remember what's on what.
Dennis, did you check out Landman? Do you have the Paramount?
Oh, Landman was phenomenal. Andy and we were trying to get together to do a review of it. Yes,
Yeah,
I will just tell you all right now, Landman's fantastic.
yeah. I mean, that's Taylor Sheridan. Puts out like a show a week now, but and Yellowstone kind of jumped the shark there at the end, probably because of the issues with Kevin Costner. They had to wrap things up kind of in a hurry, but Landman is solid. I mean, that's a highly enjoyable show. And if you've ever seen anybody or anybody watching who's ever seen anything with Billy Bob Thornton and you liked it, then you'll eat this up because he's chewing it up through this whole series. He is killing it.
Yes. And Allie Larder plays his ex-wife, and she's phenomenal. Can't remember the actress's name that plays his daughter. That's great chemistry right there.
Yeah.
And then John Hamm and his wife, Demi Moore, they wind up being awesome in it. It is really hard-hitting, deep, and I tell people it's like Dallas, back in the 80s, kind of soap opera-ish, only it's the gritty, dark side that you never get to see.
Yeah. The one complaint I have on it is the son.
Yes.
I don't care for the character, and that actor. That actor was actually on another show called The Son with Pierce Brosnan that was on AMC. I think it ran like one season, maybe two. And I tried watching that show and I gave up after 5 or 6 episodes because I couldn't stand watching that kid on the screen. Just something about him I can't stand. But the rest of the show, Landman, is phenomenal.
Yep. Absolutely loved it. I think it was a great finale. So that would be a must watch for everybody. In terms of TV shows, we just started watching Abbott Elementary. My daughter's a teacher. Mm-hmm. Everybody said, "Oh, you haven't watched that?" Because there's like 4 seasons. I'm like, no, never heard of it. Don't know how I didn't. So we started watching, getting caught up on that. It's actually pretty good.
Is that from the same people who did like Community? And
it feels very much like The Office, is what it reminds. It's filmed with the same way with the reactions and stuff. But yeah, it's very funny. My daughter, who's a teacher, said it's really accurate too. It really hits home on it, and I was like, wow. And it is. It's fun. There's some great characters on it.
Well, let me ask you this: this Q&A time.
Yeah.
Outside of Star Trek, like what is your comfort rewatch series? Like you've seen it like 5, 6 times, start to finish, and you could go right now and go sit down at the first episode and watch it all over again and either enjoy the drama of it or laugh at it like it was fresh.
Oh, well, so there's 2 different ways to answer. I'm a comedy guy. So for me, Seinfeld and Friends, I can sit down and watch those. Don't care what episode. I already know the episode, and I will just laugh right through it. There were just never bad episodes of any of those shows. I loved them all. But for something, if I had to sit down and rewatch and I could just sit down to do it, see, it's more movies, but for TV series, I'm a Galactica fan, huge Battlestar Galactica fan, both the original series and the Ronald Moore one, which was just utterly fantastic. But then I can do that with Babylon 5. I can do that with Farscape. All of those sci-fi things were all so well done. I could do it with any of them. You?
Well, for me, like for drama wise, Breaking Bad was perhaps the best TV show of the past 20 years.
Yes.
And it does, even when you know where the whole episode's going, that cast and the way it was filmed, it was so creative, and they did such a good job delivering their performances. I could watch that. I've watched that maybe 3 times through, just start to finish. And comedy wise, there's a show my kid got turned on to. I mean, she's an adult, but somebody, I think at college, turned her onto it. And I started watching it out of the corner of my eye when she was living here at home because of COVID, the last couple of years of college. And that's New Girl. And we have sat and that's our comfort. Like if there's nothing on TV, we'll go to Peacock and just whatever episode of New Girl it's set on that we last watch and just start watching them again.
Yep.
That show is hilarious. And I never watched it when it was on TV, and it wasn't that long ago.
Oh
But
yeah.
that cast is phenomenal.
Yeah.
That is a funny ass show.
See, Joe, get back to work. You're already off the show. You don't get any more
He had to
comment.
go. Now he's still watching.
But that's a Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's movies. Now, movies, I mean, Star Trek 2, Top Gun, I mean, and well, now both Top Guns, I will say. Movies like that, I can just pop in. Any T2, T1, I can do those. The Alien, the first 2 Alien movies. I don't want to say 3. There's so many good movies, and I have most of them over on my rack here. I still have I still have physical media that I like. The Godfathers, Tropic Thunder. There's so many movies, but yeah, for TV series, yeah. I if I'm in the mood to laugh, like I said, I can watch any of those. Cowboy Bebop, I have not seen. Stranger Things is fantastic. Yeah, see, Bones, Marcus says. Now, my wife watched and daughter, they watched Bones. So that was, Zoe. Yeah, Zoe's awesome.
You know what she was in that a movie me and the wife saw several years ago is called The Good Girl with Jennifer Aniston and Jake Gyllenhaal. And we loved it. And for the longest time, I've been trying to find it on streaming somewhere, and you could never find it. Like, even if you search for those actors, it would not pop up as being part of their catalog of movies. And then just recently it popped up on Hulu, so we watched that again for the first time in probably 10 years. She's in that movie. Zoe Deschanel plays the makeup counter girl in the store where the 2 main characters work at.
Okay.
And this was before she was famous. That's before New Girl. That's probably right after Elf. Maybe.
I was going to say she was the elf, the little elf and Elf, the blonde, if I remember right.
Yeah, and she's almost unrecognizable because of the hair. We're so used to seeing her like in New Girl with the dark hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah, so rumors, omissions of Henry Cavill doing a Highlander reboot. Would love that. I'm a big Highlander fan.
I'd like to be one of those.
And he's going to be 007. I would be down for that. I really would be down. And I know some people have poo-pooed it, but he's gotten the shaft on so much. I actually think he would pull it off, and it would be good as long as he's more of the grounded Daniel Craig version of him versus the superhero one like Roger Moore with all the greatest gadgets and actually went off into space in the space shuttle and stuff.
I think they got past that. I think they realized when they kind of reset the clock with the Daniel Craig version that it was the better way to go. Because, the later Roger Moore ones had just gotten ridiculous with the devices and the, it was Dr. Evil level with sharks with laser beams kind of shit.
That's right.
It was over the top. Thank you, Randy, for
$1 billion. So, guys, as we wrap things up here, Randy's popping links. He did say for everybody who's watching on X, he's dropping the links in the X chat. So, thank you very much. Sign up for the defense. Why don't you just tell a little bit about what's going on with the defense?
Well, the defense is yet another book I've worked with Keith Champagne over at New Pain Productions. And the defense is kind of like LA Law, but with supervillains. So, if Dr. Doom, or if you're a supervillain and you got enough money to have a secret lair and all this high-tech weaponry and hire henchmen, and you got pinched, you wouldn't get a public defender. You'd hire the very best defense lawyers. So the defense is about a guy who defends supervillains in the court of law. And the backstory on him is, besides being a lawyer, he also happens to be the son of the arch nemesis bad guy of that comic book universe. So his dad is the big baddie of that comic book universe, and he also helps defend other bad guys. And he finds himself sort of in the the start. I mean, I've only seen the first issue. The start of a conspiracy involving all the bad guys and villains in the universe.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I love it. I love to hear that stuff when you guys are getting at it. And I know a bunch of the guys watching this picked up Punch. So that
Thank
was
you.
pretty awesome. And guys, update on Kor-Drath. We have been chugging along now, and we are closing in on that $60,000 stretch goal. And things have been going well. We are getting ready. The proofs are done. We are getting ready to be able to put things through the printer. Is it next Wednesday, the 13th, 12th, something like that? Whatever that next Wednesday is, we are going to be closing it out. So we will be wrapping it up. So we are literally $657 away from you guys being able to get it. You know, even if you have to buy us a beer, maybe hop in on a module. So much good stuff. We've really been finishing it up. I got to see the finished product, the print of it, or I should say the digital print of it, and it's a great read with all the changes and stuff. But I just wanted to show that. And this is the print right here that you guys are going to be able to snag. And in case you're wondering, here I'm gonna do this quick because I'm going to show you guys what came in. So for those of you who haven't seen, we got the Adriana card in. So that looks awesome. The Vordum, these turned out great for those of you that got all the ones from the first campaign.
Nice.
Yeah, they turned out awesome. There is the Dan Lawless, Bart Sears, awesome print. This is why I hope we will hit 60,000. I have faith in you guys. This is what it's going to look like. Turned out absolutely fantastic.
The colors on that are phenomenal.
Yeah, well, that is Dan Lawless right there over Bart. The module, I got the prototype, the proof of it, and I even included on this one the Dragon Spear. It's a player one, so it doesn't have all the secret doors. So I'm trying to add something new for the DMs and stuff in it. But you can see the artwork, the layout, all in the D&D 5th edition. That is awesome. We did get our 2-inch characters in. So we got that shipment. It's it'll get bleached out, but we got those in. And hopefully, I think this weekend we are getting the 3 and 5-inch ones in. And then today, look what arrived. The new Adriana shirts arrived. So
it's got sleeves on it.
What's that?
It's got sleeves on it.
For now. That's why I'm not wearing it, notice. Yeah. Yeah, it won't be long, and I will remove those sleeves. They are in the to-do pile. My wife's like, really? More work already? I'm like, yeah. Pardon me. But yeah.
That game module, you should probably play that live online.
You're so funny. So, guys, we have talked about that. And Rich we are looking at playing it live. And, well, I don't know if we're going to do that one or if we're going to do the first one, because we might just start with the first module. But you guys have been wanting to see us role play. Rich hasn't played since, well, forever. Andy hasn't played since like high school, once. So we're trying to talk Bud Root into it. We got another buddy, Royce. He said he would play. So we may be in the very near future setting something up, and we may set it up to role play. I'm just checking what I missed up here. Paul, the 12th. See, thank you, Paul. I knew it. Oh, Firefly. Yeah. Another really good one. Blazing Saddles. Yeah, that never grows old. What else did we miss? Oh, Paul says, I haven't played in high school. I don't need anything else. Whoa. It's not wasting time. Rich and Andy aren't nerds. Now, guys, there are different types of nerds. We're all nerds in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah.
Rich is just a different type of a nerd. Andy's a different type of nerd. Matter of fact, he and Fraga, when they were over at a house from last weekend, you start talking art, and I know you would join in on it. It's all art. What pencil are you using for this? What? It's just a different type of nerd. Andy doesn't get into the sci-fi stuff. He's not into role playing, that kind of stuff. But he's got his own nerdy things that everybody likes, just like you do. Everybody in this chat probably has nerdy things that they really enjoy.
If they're watching this, I'm guaranteed they got something.
That's right, because we only talk nerd stuff and occasionally some NFL when the season mattered at the beginning. Now it doesn't matter because it's Kansas City and crap, so I'm out. Yeah, see you on there. So anyway, guys, that's it. Go check both campaigns. Make sure yours is first set up for a sign up.
Yeah. I think it launches next week on the 11th, I believe. So next Tuesday. It should go live probably in the evening, but I'm not sure. But yeah, you can sign up for the notification and early sign up, whatever it's called on Kickstarter. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. All right, guys. I guess that'll be it. So anybody, go check everything out. Wish Andy a safe trip.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Dennis.
Yep, you bet. Anytime. And we will, if you want to hang back, we can chat afterwards. But in the meantime, guys, later.
Thanks.